Welcome back to Joyfully at Home. Today we're going to be making a cool and refreshing summer cookie, and it's similar to old-fashioned lemon bars, but with a little bit of a different twist. They're key lime bars. Now, they're done virtually the same way, but they have a little bit different of a flavor, and they're a great summer treat because they give that nice citrus, refreshing taste. To start off, for our key lime bars, we're going to use 2 cups of flour, a half a cup of powdered sugar, and then we need 3/4 of a cup of butter, cold and cubed up into small chunks, and that's a stick and a half of butter. What we'll do is we will take this and make basically like a coarse crumbs out of this mixture, kind of like you're making any other crumb mixture. You just incorporate the butter in by using a pastry blender until you have your mixture all looking like coarse crumbs. And then this is the base of your cookie. This is like a butter shortbread base that we will put into the bottom of our 9x13 pan for our key lime bars. So you just continue to use your pastry blender to cut your butter into your flour and powdered sugar mix. Now that you see the texture of our mixture, our flour, our sugar, and our butter, it's similar to that of like a crumbly, crumble mix, or even similar to that of a pie dough mix with all these little coarse crumbs. And it is perfect now. Now what we do is take our crumb mixture, put it into a lightly greased 9x13 pan, and you're just going to dump it right in the center. And from there, just spread it right out all the way to the edges. So you've got a fairly even base. And then with your hands, you just pack it down, kind of making so you have a little bit of a ridge all the way around. And that will also help once we put our filling onto our crust. Now that our crust is all in our 9x13 pan, as I say, a lightly greased 9x13, you've patted it all in nice and tight. It's down nice and firmly. We've got a little bit of an edging on it. It's ready for our oven. We're going to put it in a 350-degree oven for about 20 minutes until it starts to form the base. It'll get a little bit of golden brown around the edges, and that's when you know it's ready for your filling. Now that your crust has had a chance to par-bake, and you can see you have all these nice little butter holes in your crust, makes for a nice flaky crust, and a little bit golden brown around the outer edges, we're going to go ahead and make our filling. We're going to go ahead first and put our sugar, which is 2 cups of sugar. Now we'll add our lime juice, and this is regular lime juice. If you have the availability to actually get regular key lime juice, it will have an even more intense flavor. You can find key lime juice in some of your grocery stores, and you can also find it on Amazon. It has much more flavor. It's a wonderful juice to use, a little bit more expensive. And if you don't have access to it, regular lime juice will work just as well in this. So we'll go ahead and mix our sugar and our lime juice together a little bit. So you'll see it just comes together a little here. Then we'll go ahead and add 4 eggs, 4 whole eggs that you've already slightly beaten a little bit so they're whisked together. We'll add our eggs to our sugar and lime juice, and we'll just whisk those together. Now that you have your eggs all whisked together, just takes a couple minutes. Have your eggs whisked in nicely with your sugar and your lime juice. You're now going to add a half a cup of all-purpose flour. Sprinkle that right over the whole top. and half a teaspoon of baking powder. And again, you're going to go ahead and whisk these together until it's all nice and smooth. Once we have this together, then we will pour it over our hot crust. Now that you have your eggs, your flour, baking powder, your lime juice, and your sugar all into a nice batter here, it's just like this, nice and smooth. You pour it right in over your hot crust. You want to make sure your crust is still nice and hot from the oven. And you just pour this right on top. It'll spread over your crust all on its own. And then we transfer this back to the oven, still at 350 degrees, for about another 25 minutes until your filling is set. Now that our cookies have been in the oven for 25 minutes, you'll see they've got a nice bubbly golden brown crust on them, a little bit brown around the edges, which is perfect. And you can see they've got a little bit of a crisp shell on the top. That's from the sugar. And they are set nicely. So now you'll just let these cool, and then you can cut them into squares, dust them with a little powdered sugar, and enjoy.